How do you know that the man calling you baby girl is calling three other girls the same thing? How do you know that the car he picks you up in was bought with stolen tears? How do you know that while you are planning a future, he is planning an escape? This is the story of Cecilia. Cecilia was 17, final year of high school, quiet girl, church girl, raised by a single mother who believed in two things: God and discipline. Her mother worked as a nurse's assistant, long hours, little pay, but she made sure Cecilia lacked nothing important. She had one rule: finish school, protect yourself, no men. Cecilia promised, and she meant it, until Bernard appeared. Bernard was 30, confident, sharp beard line, gold watch, soft voice that felt like warm honey. He didn't approach her like the boys her age. He approached her like a man who already knew the ending. "I've been watching you," he said one afternoon outside a supermarket, not in a creepy way, in a calculated way. "You're different." That word, different, it hooked her. Within weeks, Bernard was everywhere, dropping her off snacks at school, sending her money just because, buying her data bundles. When she asked how he made money, "Tech stuff," he would say, "crypto, international clients." Big words, no explanation. And every month, a new car, black Benz. 2 months later, white Lexus. Then a Range Rover. No plates, temporary tags, always in a rush, always on the phone, speaking in low tones. "Send it now. No delays. Use the other account." Sometimes he would step away to answer calls. When she asked who it was, business. Always business. But here's what Cecilia ignored. He never took her to his house, never introduced her to family, never posted her, and he hated when she asked questions. "You don't trust me?" he would say, and she would feel guilty, so she stopped asking. Then came the pressure. "You know I love you. I love you too. But love is physical." Silence. "Are you a child?" That one hurt. She wanted to feel grown. She wanted to feel chosen. He began withdrawing emotionally when she refused, taking hours to reply, posting pictures in clubs, with girls in the background, not touching them, just enough to make her insecure. And then one night, she broke. "Okay," she whispered on the phone. "I'm ready." The getaway plan was simple. Pretend to resume school. Meet Bernard after the bus station. 3 days together, then he drops her back. Nobody finds out. Her mother hugged her that morning. "Make me proud." Cecilia almost confessed right there. Almost. But she didn't. The hotel was expensive. Too expensive for a tech freelancer. Ocean view, room service, expensive champagne. And during those 3 days, she gave him everything. Everything she promised her mother she wouldn't. Afterwards, she felt empty, but he seemed victorious, like he had won something. On the second night, while Bernard was in the shower, his phone buzzed, over and over. She wasn't the type to check phones, but something about the name flashing made her freeze. "Wifey," her heart stopped. She stared. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was a cousin. The phone rang again. "Wifey, calling." Her hands trembled. She answered. Silence. Then a woman's voice. "Bernard, why are you ignoring my calls?" Cecilia couldn't breathe. "Hello? Bernard?" Cecilia hung up. The bathroom door opened. Bernard came out smiling. She forced herself to stay calm. "Who is wifey?" His smile disappeared for half a second. Then he laughed. "Oh, that's nothing." "Nothing?" "Old nickname. Ignore it." Her stomach tightened, but she let it go. Because she had already crossed the line. She had already given him everything. The third day, as they rushed back to drop her at school, police checkpoint, everything changed. At the station, They ran Bernard's name, and what Cecilia didn't know was that the woman labeled wifey was not just a girlfriend. She was legally married to him, married for 4 years, and she had reported him missing 2 days earlier because Bernard had disappeared with money, a lot of money. As Cecilia sat in the police station shaking, an officer walked in holding a printed photo. He placed it on the table. It was Bernard, standing beside a woman in a white wedding dress, smiling, ring visible, date stamp, 4 years ago. Cecilia felt her chest cave in. "He's married?" she whispered. The officer looked at her carefully. "You didn't know?" Her world shattered in silence. And that was only the beginning, because when the wife found out he was arrested, she came to the station. And when she saw Cecilia sitting there in school uniform, everything exploded. The station doors opened, and she walked in. Tall, well-dressed, late 20s, anger sitting perfectly on her face. The woman from the wedding photo, the wife. She walked straight toward the desk. "I'm here for Bernard." Her voice was controlled, but shaking underneath. An officer pointed toward the bench. "That's him." She turned, and for the first time, her eyes landed on Cecilia. School uniform, braids, small frame, terrified face. The wife frowned. "Who is that?" The room went quiet. One officer cleared his throat. "She was with him." The wife stared at Cecilia. "With him? How?" No one answered. She walked closer. "How old are you?" Cecilia couldn't speak. "How old are you?" she repeated. 17, Cecilia whispered. The wife stepped back like she had been slapped. 17? She laughed. Not a happy laugh. The kind that comes when pain has nowhere else to go. "You're a child." Tears started building in Cecilia's eyes. "I didn't know," she said softly. "You didn't know what?" the wife snapped. "That he was married." Silence. The wife looked toward the holding cell. Bernard avoided eye contact. That told her everything. And then the truth began to spill. "He told me he was single," Cecilia cried. The wife nodded slowly. "He told me he was faithful." Cecilia froze. The wife continued. "You're not the first." The air changed. "What?" Cecilia whispered. The wife pulled out her phone, opened her gallery. There were screenshots, pictures, transfers, different girls, different hotels, different dates. "He has 3 apartments," the wife said coldly. "One for me, one for business, and one for girls." Cecilia felt her stomach twist. Her head started replaying every moment. The secrecy, the disappearing acts, the business trips. "He calls all of you baby girl," the wife added. The words hit like stones. An officer interrupted. "There's more." He placed a file on the desk. "Multiple fraud complaints, international victims, millions traced." The wife closed her eyes. "I warned him," she whispered. "You knew?" Cecilia asked. "I knew he was doing fraud. I just didn't know how deep." And then came the final blow. The officer turned to Cecilia. "Did he promise you anything? Marriage? Travel? Visa?" Cecilia nodded slowly. "He said we'd go to Dubai after my graduation." The wife laughed again. "He told another girl Canada." The room felt smaller. Bernard finally spoke from the cell. "Enough." Both women turned. "I was handling things," he said calmly. "Handling things. Like hearts were business transactions. Like people were accounts to manage." But the humiliation wasn't over, because as they were talking, another woman walked into the station, early 20s, makeup smeared from crying, holding a baby. "I'm looking for Bernard." Everyone